Today's topic is going to be lack of appreciation. Um, I've been approached by a nice handful of people, and it seems like one of the reoccurring themes is the lack of appreciation for, basically kind-hearted people who go out of their way to make other people's lives comfortable, and nobody seems to return the favor. And mind you, these people are not doing these. They're not extending their resources, their time, their energy, whatever it is. They're not extending that to the people with the thought of a return. But I'm one of these people as well who extends a lot to people, and it's not about the return, tangible, the tangible part of a return for us, and especially not for me. But what I do and what I would like to see, and what, these other people, what we do have in common is that we would like the return on our investment would be more along the lines of, like I said in past videos, it would be more along the lines of you succeeding in life, or just achieving your goals, or whatever it is, whatever resource that we extended to you based on what you said you wanted and what you said you valued. So, this topic is kind of specific because I was having a conversation with a person, and it's kind of specific because it was about a man basically who does everything for somebody that's not his wife. I think he has maybe 2 or 3 kids. Been with this woman for years, or whatever the case is. I don't even think that she has to work if she doesn't want to. And from what I understand, she pays absolutely no bills, and she treats the dude like shit. So we all know that this type of behavior goes on both sides of the fence. It could be a man, it could be a woman. It really doesn't matter. Appreciation or lack of appreciation is all the same on both sides of the fence. So I'll stay on both sides of the fence. But for the person out there that I am talking about, my heart goes out to you because they always say good guys finish last, or whatever the case is. And some of these good guys try to turn themselves into whatever. They try to adjust their lifestyle to whatever they feel that their significant other is going to be attracted to. And that's where you make your first mistake, because just because you're a nice guy, it doesn't mean that there's not somebody out there for you, and that all girls like somebody that's rough around the edges, or whatever the case is. So don't adjust yourself. Don't change yourself. Don't change yourself for somebody who doesn't appreciate literally the compassionate, caring, kind. Oh shoot, people. Got Charlotte's Web over here trying to spin on me. Sorry, I didn't want to kill you, but I had to go and do you in, because you can't be crawling down my neck, because I be done freaked out on camera, and everybody gonna get a laugh. So, as I was saying, don't adjust yourself. Don't adjust yourself, because that person that you are is that person that you are. That's how God created you. That's how you were designed. I mean, to go outside of to go outside of basically creation, because you are a creation, and to go outside of creation in that mode is not smart. It's not smart for you to do, because you can't be somebody that you're not. And you can try, and people do, and they do adjust themselves and adopt different ways, but you're going against a programming, and when you go against a programming, you get glitches, and there's no telling what those glitches, are going to cause. There is somebody out there for you. Now, there's a couple different directions I can go with this as well. So you also have to be honest with yourself. So let's say you feel like you're not appreciated, and you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, right? Okay, cool. But you have to be honest to the point where you say, this person is, for lack of a better term, this person is real shitty to me, right? But then you gotta ask yourself, are you a shitty person too? And this person is just shittier than you? Because I know some of these people too, they complain about this person being shitty, and they don't appreciate me, and they don't do this, and they don't do that, and yada, yada, yada. And yeah, I'm one of those type people that I'm real honest and I'm real blunt about stuff. But I'm also one of those people who sometimes I just keep my mouth shut as well, because you know when a person is in a season to receive something, and you know when a person's not in season to receive something. And that's just called wisdom. And you gotta have the wisdom to know, when somebody's hungry and when they don't want nothing. They're not ready to eat that. They're not ready to drink from that cup. Basically is what it is. So you got to know if you're a shitty person and the other person is just shittier than you, or you're really a genuine, kind-hearted, no agenda-seeking individual who just wants, to see the best for people, and that's the type of person I am. And the people that have been coming to me telling me to bring up this topic and talk about these things, in my experience, that's the type of people that they are as well. They go out of their way. They go out of their way to do things for people constantly. And, like I said, the appreciation is just not there. So the way that I would say to deal with people that have a lack of appreciation, and this is a subject that really hits home really hard and heavy, and I'm filtering my emotions right now, because one, I have to. Two, being emotional doesn't change anything. And three, you just have to stay calm and clear-headed, because that's when, you get your download. You get your downloads from God, and you can hear more clearly. That's my opinion. So, but the way I deal with people now, especially people who I really do truly care about and I do love, I give a chance. I'm not gonna say that I give 3 strikes, because life ain't baseball. So, you may have given 3 strikes, in your immature stages in life, because we all feel like we don't live forever and we got time, and some of these relationships are based on nostalgia for, you know, for whatever reason. You know, you had good times at the parties. You played sports together. You know, families were intertwined and connected in one way or another, or whatever the case is. And you just don't want to let those good times go. But at the end of the day, what is going on inside of another person is just that. And you can't try to change what is going on inside of another person. We're all here, we all have an influence on each other, you know, directly and indirectly. So whether your influence is good or bad on a person doesn't mean that that person is going to change. You can have a good influence on a person, and that could be a shitty person and do bad and pump bad into the world. And your good influence is not going to change them. It doesn't matter. And that's when you need to remove yourself. And just because a person is a bad influence doesn't mean that that's going to change that good person. But the good person still needs to remove themselves, you know, from the situation. So, like I said, I don't give 3 strikes, but I do give grace because I was given grace. And I do try to salvage relationships. I give you the opportunity to make things right. And if you don't make them right, then that's on you. And just because I don't come up to you and say, oh, you did this to me, you did wrong, you know, this, that, and the third, or whatever the case is, just because I don't say that to you, that doesn't mean that when so-and-so said that, you know, you was down bad and sick and whatever the case is, and then I call you and you're doing fine now, but I'm calling you to check on you because I don't wish any harm or nothing like that on you. That's your opportunity, you know? That's your opportunity to make things right. That's your opportunity to say, you know what, man, I appreciate you. You know I messed up. You know, you've been my homie since day one. You know, you had my back, your heart was always good. And, you know, I was going through something. I don't know, just say whatever it is that you need to say. Because at the end of the day, you can't get back. I mean, shoot, we all leaving this earth at a rate that's unbeknownst to us. You know, some of us can see it coming and have to go through terminal illness and different things, and some of us just don't wake up in the morning, you know. But you don't want to miss your opportunity to show love and give somebody their flowers while they're still here. And in no way, shape, or form is this a message for anybody that, you know, I'm not in contact with, that I used to be in contact with. This is not a message for you. So don't take it as if I'm going out of my way and I feel I'm hurt and I'm looking for an apology. I don't need an apology from you, you know. If that's something that you want to give me and it's on your heart, I don't want nothing that ain't on your heart. Period. Even if you have aggression on your heart, if you had something on your heart that you needed to say, well, then that's what I want. I want you to say it, and you can communicate that, and we can work that out, and we can go from there. And the same goes for if, you know, you got what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I could say regret, but I don't really want to say regret. I really want to say, even if you have, I guess I will stay with regret. But if you do have that conscience that says that, yeah, I did him wrong, or I did her wrong, and I'm gonna make it right, then do that. Today, life is too short to be worried about looking for apologies and trying to fit yourself into a mold of somebody who doesn't appreciate you. Like, if you're a good person, there's a group of people out there looking for you that you're going to fit right into, that will love you for who you are, will appreciate you for who you are, will celebrate you for who you are, and will just cherish every good part of you. And those are the people that I want in my life, and those are the people that I love coming in contact with in the stores, in the just in life, period. It doesn't matter where we at. You can always tell when you meet a person who loves life, who appreciates life, and those are genuinely the people who appreciate others, are the ones who you could tell who are just happy to be alive and appreciate the small things in life. So remove yourself from people who don't appreciate you, because one thing I don't recommend is that you change. So before you change for the worse and adopt ways of hatred, remove yourself, or make it to where these people can't access you. Delete the numbers out your phone, block them at the same time, change your surroundings, if you got to change friend groups, whatever you got to do, you got to do it. Just to segue into something else, like somebody asked me, because of one of the videos that I put out, somebody asked me who knew my history, knew how I used to drink like a fish and, smoke and just really indulgent in all of the things that was killing me. They asked me what was it, how did I stop? Well, it's going to be the same for removing yourself from people who don't appreciate you, and that is you put those blinders on, the same blinders that they put on a horse. You put those blinders on, and you keep those blinders on until you feel that when you take those blinders off, you still don't see nothing except for what's in front of you. You don't see what's going on over on this side. You don't see what's going on this side. You don't see anything except for what's in front of you and what you choose to set your eyes on. Because it's easy to choose to set your eyes on that bottle of alcohol. It's easy to choose to set your eyes on that blunt and that party that's about to pop off, and that fast ass girl over here that's shaking and saying, come knock me down real quick. It's easy to keep your eyes on stuff like that. It's easy to keep your eyes on, especially when, as a young man, we were raised to believe that this is what makes you a man, and this is all a part of manhood, and discipline in certain situations is second to that, because it's like, oh, okay, you go out here and do this and do that and do this and do that. But if you don't have the discipline, you can't socially pick up the drink and put it down and go on about your business. If you don't have the discipline, you can't get this female right here, and then when the next one comes along, and blows your ego up a little bit more, you can't say no. You can't look at the situation and be like, is this, is this good for me? Like, is there something here that's gonna better me? What's here that's gonna make me a better person? And if you can't put those blinders on and keep them on until you know that you're disciplined enough to keep your eyes facing forward, then discipline is what you need to work on. So that's what I tell the people for the person who asked me that question, how did I do it? First thing I did was I removed myself from all the people, all the locations. I deleted numbers out of my phone. I changed my number, and it wasn't because I hated anybody. It wasn't because I thought I was better than anybody. It had nothing to do with it. It was life or death. That's what it was. It was life or death, and I chose life. So I removed myself from people, places, and things to make it simple. Like, I didn't care. I stopped making excuses as well, because the holidays come. A lot of families get together and it's a holiday, and some say, "Oh, I only drink on the holidays," and then you think that after drinking for the last 25 years, that's something that you can adopt. Okay, well, I just drink on the holidays, and then you quit 3 months before the holiday. And then when the holiday comes, you say, "Yeah, I ain't drank nothing in 3 months, but it's the holiday, so I'm gonna drink." As soon as you drink on that holiday after you've been sober for 3 months, you're about to throw yourself right back into the cycle. You haven't been removed long enough to sustain that blow and that nerve calming effect that you're gonna get, that your body been screaming for 3 months. Your cells they haven't healed themselves from all the damage that you've caused. They're screaming on the inside. They want, just like that drug addicted baby comes out screaming because it wants that drug back in its system, and it's going through withdrawals. It's the same thing. Your cells are sitting down there just thirsty and screaming. As soon as you give it to them, you right back in the cycle. And then you say, okay, it's the holiday passes. And then the following weekend comes. What happens on the following weekend? You sitting up there like this. Man, that tequila was good. Had a little pineapple in it, had a little this and that. And before you know it, you're like, man, I'm just going to have me a drink. You go out there and buy you a pint, and you sip on the pint all weekend, and you feel like that was, it was just a pint. I'm used to getting towed up, But not really. It's what your body was craving, and you gave into it. So you have to remove yourself, just like any drug addicted person who is serious about changing. I don't care if it's crack. I don't care if it's methamphetamine. I don't care what it is. You have to remove yourself from people, places, and things. Those are the 3 steps. I know in AA, I've never been in it, but I know in AA, I guess they have a 12-step program. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. I'm not sure, but I know I had a 3-step program, and my 3 steps were people, places, and things, because I had to admit to myself, and anybody out there watching has to admit to yourself that you can't stop on your own, or you can't stop when you're in the middle of the ish. You can't stop. And to think that you can stop because you don't think that you're an addict, is what most people's problems are. They don't think that they're addicts. So you think that you're strong enough. And let's just say, some people, they do. Let's just say that they do. Okay, that's cool, but you're not. You're the one out of a million other people. You're not the rule. The rule is you remove yourself from whatever it is that's causing damage, whatever's distracting you, and whatever you're attracted to that no longer serves you. You have to allow your body, your mind, your spirit, and your soul to heal. And all of those things take time. Your body needs time to digest new good things that you put into it and get used to all those new good things that you put into it. Your mind has to digest new habits, new ways of thinking, and the routines that come along with that as well. It's a whole process. Your emotions, because you're going to go through some highs and you're going to go through some lows. You're going to go through a wave of emotions, whether it be removing yourself from people or removing yourself from substance abuse. Like I said, for the person who was asking me how I did it, you're going to go through a wave of emotions, and you just have to know that you're not weak. You're not weak for isolating yourself when you need to isolate yourself. And when I say isolate yourself, I don't mean to put yourself in a corner, lock yourself in a room. And sometimes that's what it takes for people who are on different things and have, who have different types of attachments to things. So visuals can do a lot of good and they can do a lot of damage. And people don't realize. I mean, that's why God gave us eyes. He gave us eyes to appreciate all the beautiful things that He created. And then man comes along and he creates what he says is beautiful and get you to put your eyes on that, put your focus on that. And then that's what your standard of what you think beauty is, excitement is, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we're visual. And, when I was going through it, I would, alcohol commercials would come on the TV. I just, not like I was crazy or nothing, but I would just turn it. Like, even if I was watching the show that was on that station, I would turn it because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I didn't want to smell it. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to taste it. I had to make sure that I held myself accountable for all of my triggers, because that's what does it to us. We have triggers. And I could be somewhere and I could smell a Black and Mild. I used to smoke them, whatever it was. I could smell a cigarette. I could smell a joint being smoked. Or I could be talking to somebody who was intoxicated. I could smell the alcohol in their breath. And these are the beginning stages, right? So I could smell the alcohol in their breath. And when I was in my beginning stages of quitting, this is when I was aware of my of myself and what my triggers were. You know, that's just wisdom. That's just me tapping into God and God filling me up and saying, okay, pay attention. So I remember talking to people and I could smell the liquor on their breath and it smelled good. You know, it smelled good. And I'm like, damn, I can't even be around. You know, I done removed myself for a while, and I'm doing my own thing or whatever the case is. I ain't drinking and this and that, but I'm going into certain places where I know that they might be drinking or it's family, and you know that's the excuse, it's family or whatever the case is. And then, you know, I smell the alcohol on their breath, and that's a trigger. The light goes off in my head like, damn, that smells good. Man, one shot ain't gonna kill me, you know. And I fumbled the ball a couple times back then too, just off of that, you know. And then another thing, I stopped saying to people that I quit drinking. I ain't drinking no more. I quit drinking. I ain't drinking no more. Because what that does is, like I said, you're gonna go through stages. You're gonna go through waves of emotion and you know, just different shifts. And when I would say I wasn't drinking, I'm done. I'm done. I'm 3 months. I'm 4 months, and then it happens again, and then I fumble the ball. Guess what? Here come the people that are supposed to be, you know, supposed to love me or whatever the case is. But here come those people, and one of the first, I thought you quit, you know, just like the devil whispering in your ear, I got you. I thought you quit, man. You ain't quitting. You know, no encouragement. They don't realize, they're not recognizing your heart. They're not recognizing that your heart is real and that you want to quit this. But there's a chemical reaction going on inside you that you're fighting against. Because once those molecules from whatever drug, whatever, you know, alcohol is a drug, so whatever that chemistry was that attached itself to your chemistry, that's what you're fighting against. And sometimes, you know, you go through the up and you go through the down. And if you tell somebody that you're going to do something and you don't do it, and this goes with anything in life, that's why you got to keep a lot of stuff to yourself, or only the people that you can truly trust. But the first thing somebody's going to do is they're going to throw it in your face. They're going to make you feel like you nothing. They're going to make you feel weak. They're going to, you know, misery loves company. So, you just running your mouth. You ain't this and you ain't that, blah, blah, blah. You ain't no better than us. And sometimes they don't say it, but they don't need to say it. They don't need to say it for you to know exactly what their words and gestures are pointing to. And then after they dogged you out, what do? They hand you the bottle. They hand you the blunt. They pay for you to go to the club, and they throw a girl in your face that she done been ran through by, you know, 100 different men. And no shade on the women who didn't have 100 different men, but if you're a man not seeking a woman who's been ran through by 100 different men, you're probably not going to want her, but in that stage, you'll accept her. And then that just opens up another door that is going to be harder to open back out and run out of, because you need to run out of there. You need to open that door and run your ass out of there. So, to bring it all in one more time, just change your people, places, and things when it comes to, you know, if you're trying to make that type of lifestyle change where you're trying to put down the substances and you're trying to, you know, you're over the club scene, and your your friend group is not lifting you up. It's not encouraging you. It's not inspiring you to be a better person. It's just not. You need to remember in your mind that it is life or death. If you're trying to make these changes, maybe you didn't see it that way, but you're choosing life over death. The moment that you say, I want to exercise, I want to be healthy, I want to eat right, I want positive people around me, I just want to excel in life. The moment that you decide that, that's you choosing life. Like, that's what it is. You're choosing life and life more abundantly over death. Because the other side, that's all you're going to get is death. You got death, you got the penitentiary, you got sickness, you got disease, you got anxiety, depression, chaos, no discipline. That's death. Regardless if you walking and breathing, you the walking dead. So choose life and don't choose death. Period. Like I said before, appreciate the good that God, the good people. Appreciate the good people who really truly love you, and appreciate the people who really truly care about you. Appreciate these people, because one day they're going to be gone. But at the end of the day, choose life. Don't choose death. It's easy to choose death. And it's because death is always dressed up in something pretty. It always smells good. It always looks good. Death smells good. Death looks good. Death tastes good. Death feels good. And death is always in a disguise. It's always, it's a shapeshifter. And those, it shifts itself into whatever your vices are going to be. And you don't even realize that you're choosing death. So life is right in front of you, and most people are moving so fast that they don't sit down and take it all in and appreciate it, because that's the topic of everything today is appreciation. So you don't appreciate life. We all were given this life, and that's where a lot of us fall short, is that we don't appreciate life. All these different sounds and stuff right now, everything has a purpose. Just like I said, in the body, everything has a purpose. God designed everything to have a purpose. These flies, these bees, these trees, this grass, everything. Anything that came from a seed that God created, whatever it is that God created, it all has a purpose. And we get caught up in our daily routines, and we don't take that second to smell the roses, as they say. And we take everything for granted. And life is just passing us by, and we're choosing death. Because death helps us numb pain until we feel no more pain. And once we feel no more pain, it could either be a celebration, or it can be too late to make those changes. That's my good one for today.